What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here, and I'm a genius. I know. I totally called all the stuff we should have done in the past couple games. Bruce Arena obviously watches my videos and did exactly what I said, and guess what? We easily cruised past Panama. So this shows, or at least this should show, that Christian Pulisic should not play anywhere other than the center of the field. Not on the wing, he should play right down the middle, in behind the strikers, because that's his position. That is exactly what he needs. He needs to be in there, he needs to be working the ball around with the strikers, even just one striker up there. I think he could play just behind one. It doesn't matter. As long as he's not forced over to the wing where he has to stay and pretty much get up and down the line and help defend, he should be our best player on the field. So, yeah, that obviously helped us, but there were also a couple things that did help us in this game. First of all, I think having Yedlin back was just the best thing that possibly could have happened for our defense. Bruce Arena did try to screw it up by putting Omar Gonzalez in again, but thankfully Yedlin has enough energy and pace to handle the back line pretty much on his own. So even though there were some mistakes here and there, Yedlin was typically the one that was stepping in, cleaning it up. So very good to see him back in. Like I said, Christian Pulisic in the midfield really helps us a ton. It gives our strikers another option to play off of as well, and it just provides so much more dynamic play for him to show what he's capable of. And on top of that, I think the two wing players were good options. Nagbe and Areola, not the best players, not players that are going to stand out above the rest, but they're both solid and they both work hard. And so even though the quality isn't quite what we want, I think the effort is enough to really save them from looking bad out there. So overall it was a decent lineup, but let's get into individual performances. Tim Howard had to make a few crucial saves in the first half. Didn't really have much to do in the second half because at that point we'd wrapped it up. But yeah, he's a typical, I guess a typical performance from him, just having to make a few saves here and there and stepping up and doing the job very well. One of the things I want to see a bit more out of him, though, is I want to see, I guess, a bit more leadership. Instead of, we see him yelling at the defense all the time. I want to see him really communicating with them early on and organizing them a lot more, because you could tell the organization wasn't there. And part of that is down to the fact that Omar Gonzalez is a lazy defender, and so it could be one of those things where he is talking to him and Gonzalez just doesn't respond to it. So I don't know if that's what's happening, but it doesn't look like the defense is organized as it should be. So I guess I'm interested to see why that is. Is it Howard not doing his job, or is it Gonzalez not doing his job? I guess you could argue either way. Yedlin, like I said, he really did hold down our back line for the most part. There were just a few times that they didn't have a whole lot of chances throughout the game. They had a few really good ones, though. Yedlin stepped up big and did a very good job to shut it down. The one in particular, it was ball dumped in, Beasler challenges, gets beat. Gonzalez kind of stands there and swings at it as the guy nicks it past him, and then Yedlin slides in to block the shot. So, it's just very, very good to see Yedlin full of energy. He's running around, he's defending well, he's putting in some good challenges. The only thing that he's got to work on is I guess, channeling that energy a little bit, because there are some times whenever he's one-on-one that energy sort of spills over and he goes into a challenge a little bit too aggressive, and then he'll get beat. So, there's good energy and then there's ineffective energy. And there were some times when that ineffective energy popped up whenever it's the one-on-one situations. But really good to have him back. Gonzalez, I already talked about him, and if I haven't made it clear yet, I really don't like Gonzalez. I don't know what everybody sees in him. I don't know why everybody loves to have him in the back, because he's awful. He is a terrible defender. He's lazy. He stands around. There's so many times where just try. You should want to throw your body on the line. You should want to throw yourself in front of a shot to make sure they don't have a clear shot on goal. He's not that type of defender. There was one case where corner comes in, the ball's up in the air, and he challenged for it in the header. It flicks off his head and goes up in the air. The guy settles it down, and he's just sort of standing there behind him. He's not putting pressure. He's not ready to go. He's just standing there. So the guy flicks it past him. He just turns and watches. I'm just like, I can turn and watch. I can be out there and watch people play around me. You need to do something. You need to defend. And so I just don't understand. I don't understand why he continues to get time. How is nobody watching him and saying, you need to do more. You need to have passion in your game. You have just no passion whatsoever. And then Matt Beasley on the other side, not a great performance from him either, but he does have his moments where he steps up defensively and does well. So I'm not going to complain about him as much as Gonzalez, but we need more solidity in the back two. I don't know what we've got. We've got Jeff Cameron, who didn't have a great game the past couple games. We've got Brooks, who hasn't had a good few games in the Hex as well. So I don't really know who to turn to right now, but we need to get defenders in there who are solid and do their jobs well. And, maybe it's because I'm a Chelsea fan, Miazga deserves a chance. From what I saw from him in the Gold Cup, very solid. He works hard. He's young as well, so he's got room to grow. I don't know why we're not at least giving him a chance. But no, we just keep going to the same old, we'll just throw Gonzalez out there and he'll do nothing. Maybe our defensive midfielders will help out enough. Oh, wait, it's Bradley? Never mind. Villafana on the left side, I don't know. Honestly, he didn't really make an impact, which is good and bad. Because, whenever I say a player doesn't make an impact, most of the time it means they didn't really do much good defensively or attacking. But it also means that they didn't really do anything bad either. So where Gonzalez sticks out to me because he makes a lot of mistakes and he doesn't try, Villafana doesn't stand out because he does try, doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes, but really doesn't do much else either. So I don't know. I just think we need a more effective fullback back there. Into the midfield, Bradley, not a bad game from him. I do like to pick on him a lot because a lot of people hype him up, and I think he's way too overhyped, especially for somebody who's supposed to be our captain. I think he's just not good enough quality-wise. He used to be pretty good, but now he just doesn't do much of anything. His passes are okay from time to time. Defensively, sometimes he works hard, and then sometimes he doesn't. So, yeah, I don't know. Tonight was one of his better games, I guess, but that's still not saying much because for me, his better games still aren't good enough to be in that midfield. I still want a player in there who's not only going to work hard and move around, but also provide good quality passing support. And he just gives the ball away too many times, whether it's a dumped ball into the defense or whether it's just playing a simple pass and now he's passing it to the other team. It's just like, what are you doing? But tonight he had his moments. He had a couple of good moments where he's moving the ball around well, and then he's had a couple moments where I don't even know why he's out there. He's just giving the ball away randomly. To our wings, Nagbe on the left and Ariola on the right. Nagbe kind of, he had a couple moments here and there that I remember where he did look pretty good. He looks quick and fast, moves the ball around really well. But then there are times when he just sort of fades out of the game and I don't see him for 20 to 25 minutes. And there's just something lacking in his game. There's something about, he dribbles pretty well. He can move the ball around 1-2s pretty quickly. But then when he gets into the final third, it's like he doesn't have an idea of what he wants to do. Whether he dumps the ball in when he should be laying it back or whether he has a shot when he has no angle. I don't know. Sometimes it looks like he doesn't have the intelligence to finish off an attack. And you want somebody out there on the wings who knows what they're going to do. And so, look to the other side, Paul Ariola. He must have an idea of what to do, right? No. And watching him in the Gold Cup, watching him tonight, just same thing as Nagbe. He's quick. He runs very, very hard. He works very, very hard. He moves the ball around pretty well, and then he gets in the final third, and aside from the assist to Wood, which was a very nice assist, aside from that, he has no clue what he wants to do. He gets the perfect ball played to him, laid on by McCarty. He's running one-on-one with the keeper. All you got to do is slot it in. What does he do? Kicks it right at the keeper. And I can't tell you how many chances he wasted in the Gold Cup. And he wasted a couple tonight, too. There was one, I don't remember who started it, but it was in the first half. Ball bounced out to him. He has perfect chance for a volley. What does he do? He blasts it straight into the ground, and the keeper's just like, oh, thank you for that. he lacks that attacking nature, that finishing quality. Both of them do. And it's very frustrating to see, even though they're very hard workers, they do a very good job in their own individual aspects. Nagby is a very good dribbler, and his ball retention is very good. And then Ariola, his passing is pretty good, and defensively he works very hard. That's great to see, but then we need them to do something up top, and neither of them really provide that very often. They'll have that one moment, like I said, Ariola, great ball to Wood for the fourth goal, but that's it. He didn't do much else tonight. Most of his other passes in or his shots were just not good enough, or wastes. So, kind of frustrated there, but, we'll take the good with the bad as well. And then into the middle, Christian Pulisic. Like I said, this is where he needs to be. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that, Panama were set up pretty attack-minded tonight. I think if they decided to bunker in a little bit more, it would be a bit more difficult for them, and we probably wouldn't have scored 4 goals. But I think just the attacking quality of Christian to hold up the ball, to find the strikers and play off of them, the quick turn and running at the defense, he knows what he's doing. And you can see the quality is there every single game. And even in the games whenever he's held to pretty much nothing, maybe one good run, even in those games where Bruce Arena played him out on the wing and he has no business being out there, he still shows his quality. He still has these moments where he just all of a sudden turns it on and puts the defense under pressure. And you're just like, one moment now could change the game. Tonight he had 5 or 6 of those moments in the first half alone, where it's just like he changed the game. He created a chance. A couple of those chances led to goals. A couple of them led to very good shots. I mean, he's playing with the confidence of a 25, 26-year-old, and he's only 19. That's very impressive. And I know I'm not the first one to say that, but I do think it's very good to know that he's very young and he's continuing to grow. He's continuing to grow in confidence and in technical ability. I can't wait to see what he's like a few years from now, whenever he's grown into, hopefully maybe a little bit more like strength-wise. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to become of him next. But very solid, dominating performance from him tonight. And then the 2 strikers up top. Start off with Bobby Wood because, for me, he's showing why he deserves to be probably our starting striker. If we're going to go one up top, he's showing why he deserves to be up there. Because he wins the ball out of the air more than Altidore does. And he provides much more for the teammates around him. Altidore is good for a flick on, and that's it. The hold-up play isn't there. He doesn't really win the ball out of the air that often. And even when he does, if he does win it, it's off his chest to his feet, and then they poke it away from him, and he's not winning it back. Wood has such good ball retention skills. He's just very good at holding up the ball. He wins it out of the air. He gets up off the ground very well. The flick on for the first goal, he flicks it on to Altidore, who manages to get it into Christian's path. I mean, that alone is just like, that's more than Altidore does in the air throughout the entire game. And he's just so good at winning that ball and flicking it on. I think, if you're going to go with one striker, I think if you put him up there and Christian alongside him, I think they would work very well off of each other. But very, very good performance from tonight. He created a lot of very good chances. Probably should have had a couple more goals. The one-on-one that he passed to the keeper. He does need to work on his finishing a little bit more, but I think his work rate, his ability to make runs off the ball and on the ball as well, really shows that he deserves to be probably our starting striker if we're only going to go one up top. As far as Altidore is concerned, he did get a couple goals. Everybody's just like, man of the match. Oh, look at that, 2 goals. Oh, yeah, go Altidore. He's our best striker. I'm sorry, I don't see it. I mean, the first goal that he scored, it was a great run, but it's mainly the pass in from Pulisic. That pass, the little curl on it that puts it right into his path, that's a great pass. Yes, he's there, but that's it. That's all he had to do was just make a run. I get that it has to be a good run. I have the same argument about Ronaldo. I think he's benefits off the hard work of his teammates. While yes, some of his finishes are a lot more difficult than that one was, I do see, it does take skill to read the paths, to read where it's going to go. I get that. I get that takes a certain skill as well. But you take that goal, And then you take the other one, which is a penalty, which was actually won because Bobby Wood made a great run inside. Those are his 2 goals. Winning goals off the hard work of your teammates. What else did he do? Okay, he had a decent pass that set up Pulisic for the first goal. Okay, it was okay. Christian actually did a very good job of keeping possession because it was kind of behind him, and he had to reach back and bring it into his path. What else did Altidore do? 1 or 2 flick-ons? You see my point here? He didn't do a whole lot outside of a few good passes and then the 2 goals, which were really better from Christian and Bobby. He's not doing enough on his own. And that's the thing. Whenever we go into these games, like against Mexico on the road, and you need one striker up there because you need to be a bit more defensive, he's not going to do it. He cannot do it on his own. He needs somebody else up there. And while he and Pulisic are working very well together for the most part, they've had some very good moments working off of each other, I still just don't think you put him up there alone, even with Pulisic. I think you need another striker up there with him. Because I don't think he has the ability to hold up play on his own. I don't think he has the ability to win it out of the air and flick it on for him. I don't think he's good enough to do that. And I don't know. I'm listening to Taylor Twellin, who he's kind of an idiot. But he's talking about how, I was talking about in moments like these, Altidore needs to step up and he needs to take charge and say, hey, I will lead you. I'm like, how is scoring a tap-in from Pulisic's hard work and scoring a penalty from Bobby's hard work, how is that leading anybody? You're benefiting off of their hard work. I don't get it. He's one of those players that people just... Jordan Morris, Graham Zusi, Michael Bradley, players that I think are either very average or just don't do enough to deserve to be in our national team, and people just love them. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because they're MLS stars. I guess that might be it. We need more players that are here, players that are playing here, not overseas. Who cares about those leagues? We only care about here. I don't get it. I really don't. But somebody please explain to me because I just don't see enough from Altidore. I don't see enough hard work. He's a player that will turn off way too easily. He's a player that looks to flop and fall over anytime somebody gets near him instead of just holding it up. He has the strength and the speed to be a target man striker. He has the strength and the speed to be a striker like a Harry Kane, like a Diego Costa, a very strong, powerful striker. He has the physical ability to do it, but he doesn't. He decides he's going to only work for himself. He decides, I'm going to make this one run, and if it doesn't come off, he's done. He's not making another run after that. If somebody pushes him, he's going to fall over because he's looking for the foul. I don't see enough from him, and it's disappointing. Obviously, these 2 goals are going to up his status with everybody. They're going to be like, oh, look, he's scoring, woo! But I just don't see it. I do not see the same quality that everybody else is seeing. I see a striker who has the potential to be the striker everybody's saying, but he's not living up to it. If he's doing it in the MLS, that's great. At the international level, he's not doing enough for us. So I still think we need to look for another striker. Obviously, like I said, Bobby Wood, very good. I think he's quality enough to deserve to start over Altidore. But aside from that, Dempsey's not able to do it as consistently as he used to. And then that's it. Jordan Morris, I've already talked about. He's not good enough. Zardes, haven't seen enough from him, and honestly, he's more of a winger now. Haven't seen enough from Johansson. He's been out injured and now is not even a part of the team anymore. So Dwyer was the other one that was given a chance in the Gold Cup and then sent back home after the group stage. So we just don't have another striker in there that I think can hold up their own in the national team, and that's a scary thought. On to the subs. First one to come on was Dax McCarty. He's a player that, according to announcers, is a shut down the game type of player. I don't see it. I talked about this during the Gold Cup as well. He's just too small to be a player that's going to shut down your midfield, shut it down defensively. But where we were at that point. We were already up 3-0. Panama wasn't really providing a whole lot going forward, so he didn't have to be very strong defensively. What he does do, plays a pretty decent through ball. So, he did do that a few times and provided some good passes in for our strikers. So he does provide that, but I think if you're looking for a defensive midfielder, I think Acosta is probably your better bet between the two of them. Um, it's so funny though because I realize he's older, but watching Jeff Larinowitz do it for Atlanta United, I'm wondering why he's not in with a shout. Because he is a very quality center defensive mid who works tirelessly in there. Not necessarily, I don't want to see him, miss time at Atlanta United to play, but at the same time, for the U.S. national team, he probably should be a player that's looked at a bit more. Then you got Dempsey came in for Altidore, kind of this super sub role that he's come into recently. Honestly, didn't really look like he was into it that much. He had a couple chances here and there where he made a good run, but aside from that, just didn't really look like he was up for the game. So I don't know what was going on there, but hopefully it doesn't carry over to Honduras because we'll probably need him there. And then Bedoya came in into kind of a midfielder role. Just, he's a little bit of a different player nowadays. Not the Bedoya that I used to watch growing up, the winger that was up and down the line working hard. He's not the same. He doesn't have the same physical nature that he did back then. So his role in the team has changed a little bit, but I would like to see him continue to try to, I guess, help out the team as much as he can because he is a hard worker, and I do appreciate the hard work he's done in the past. But tonight just came in late, some fresh legs. So we got Honduras next. It's good to get the win here because honestly I was not excited coming into this. I'm like, are we going to get the win? Are we going to struggle to get the win? What's going to happen? So to easily cruise through this one gets me very pumped for the Honduras game. Not Honduras, Trinidad and Tobago game. It would be nice to see Christian Pulisic play in the middle again. Possibly try to go one striker up top because there's a good chance we'll have to do that a lot in the World Cup. Stay a little bit more defensive. So why not go ahead and try out that formation against Trinidad and Tobago? Even though it is a game that you'll probably dominate, just get used to playing that. But I would like to see a little bit of rotation. Obviously, at this point, it's kind of a done deal that you're through. So don't go out there with a weakened team. Don't throw out like Beasley and Zusi on the wing or on the fullbacks and just completely put out a crap lineup. But definitely put out a few players that maybe haven't gotten as much of a feature. I'd love to see Acosta get in the starting lineup. I can't remember if Miazga made the squad this time around, but if you have some younger players, I'd say let them get a chance. Let them show what they're capable of, but don't put out a terrible lineup. Definitely keep our back line as solid as you can. Yedlin needs to play over Zusi. If Zusi plays, I'm probably going to put my palm through my face. Beasley definitely should not play either. But yeah, looking at that game, it should be a comfortable game where we don't have to stress about anything, but that's about it for me. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What were your thoughts on this game? What are your thoughts going into the next game? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future USA reviews. I'll see you guys in the next game. Peace out.